A couple of years ago, my wife and I attended an Armenian Orthodox wedding. The ceremony was lengthy and steeped in exotic tradition. We didn't understand a word. The priest looked very serious in his black robe, and we couldn't relate to the visuals. Now, this time travel to the Byzantine Empire caught us by surprise. I appreciate when people preserve their heritage and draw strength from their history. That's good. But I have to say clearly, I have a problem with extreme orthodoxy that shows up everywhere in various guises. At the other extreme, progress fetishists cause a lot of harm. But today, interestingly, they don't have an image problem. Let's investigate. Even a little dictionary work reveals the red flags, the dangers inherent in orthodoxy. So here's a mild definition. The Greek word orthodox, of the right opinion, means that something is accepted as true and correct by most people. Supporting or believing what most people think is conventional, traditional, and normal. Well, this is kind of innocent. Now, a bit more pointed definition is this: conforming to what is traditionally accepted, established, and approved. Okay, conforming freely, established and approved by whom? So there are question marks here. A more blunt definition actually has the loaded D word: conforming to established doctrine. Okay, in its most polarizing form, orthodox means adhering to a true doctrine as opposed to heretical doctrines. Now, this is black and white. Heresy is obviously not good, and it needs to be dealt with. Pandora's box, can of worms. As a little kid, I learned that there was a correct way of doing things. I was born ambidextrous, but I was told to hold things in my right hand and do things properly. It didn't cause any harm to me, but I can imagine worse scenarios. In elementary school, I was exposed to infallible socialist dogmas. I experienced cognitive dissonance, to say the least, and I got in trouble on a regular basis for not conforming more obediently. By my university years, I was a heretic and on a collision course with Orthodox socialist authorities. My fate was the fate of all heretics: persecution. I went through 4 years of proper classical training in visual art, drawing, painting, applied arts, the works. I had 3 years of classes with a fantastic artist who didn't bother too much with the practical aspects of teaching. His instructions were poetical and intended to be insightful and inspirational. He didn't want to interfere with the students' freedom, creativity, and spirit of exploration. But I needed to develop skills. My second art teacher just wanted to teach the true and tested techniques that yielded good results. I needed both of these guys. Another example: Canadian pilot training is a disciplined affair, and the methods work. Starry-eyed wannabe fly boys need to go through a rigorous training regime, ground school and flight training. Everything is laid out, and the instructors do not allow somebody to go to the next step before they demonstrated the mastery of the prerequisite skills. You must do everything properly and by the book. you deviate, you improvise, you take liberties, you fail. If you religiously adhere to the established rules, you are safe. You get your wings. Voila. When I'm flying with an airline, I want my pilot to be as orthodox as possible. I don't want a hotshot rule breaker at the controls. The Renaissance was a truly fascinating time in human history. I admire the Renaissance artists' spirit of innovation. Within a very short period of time, they went from these two-dimensional medieval icons to accurately drawn, real people with human feelings. What drove these incremental improvements? Why were these artists celebrated and even financially rewarded? Oh, this is good, rich study material. Now, just because the Renaissance eventually morphed into something that is a bit weird to my taste, would I say that Leonardo or Michelangelo were not worth it? Now, something closer to home. In my father's Cooper workshop, all the planes looked like wooden planes that medieval guilds would approve of, except one oddball item. It was a metal spokeshave that he used for the final smoothing of the outside of the barrels, because this tool conformed to the various curvatures of barrels. It was genius. It came from the land where rigid adherence to tradition was not allowed to get in the way of productivity. And so innovation was encouraged. This radically different tool was called the Amerikaner. So what exactly constitutes progress? Who defines it? What are the criteria? The progressive label could be stuck to anything, even far-fetched and unreasonable things. So how do we distinguish between good progress and useless garbage that's merely packaged as progress? What's the yardstick? These are the ingredients of good decisions. 1. Level-headed pragmatism. The practical usefulness and success of something is easy to determine. The people will tell you, this new thing is good, we love it, we use it, it's here to stay. The judgment of the people is important, and it cannot be just casually ignored. 2. Reason is needed. Not fear, not passion, not emotions, not religious fervor, not hysteria, reason. 3. Decision makers need to have a wide-angle view to predict how their decisions will play out. Seeing the world through a straw leads to bad decisions. Wisdom. Finally, wisdom. Wisdom comes from experience, experiencing all aspects of the human condition and from our connectedness with the past. We need to accurately evaluate so-called progressive ideas, and we need to be prepared to step up against their orthodox style implementation. Translation: woke neo-Marxist agenda with Soviet-style coercion. It's a huge job, but it can be done, as historical examples show.